Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with me again today. This is, I guess it would be considered step 4, but it's really a different picture. I'm still working on Fallen Angel and I am in PhotoDirector365. Remember, this is not paid advertisement or partnership or promotion. This is just the software that I use, and I'm peeling back the curtain and allowing you guys to see exactly how I create the artwork that I sell on my website. I'm in the process of getting things going on Etsy, just as a secondary outlet to the website for people to purchase puzzles, posters, and prints. On the website, there is merch also available for Kaosivity if you like our logo. If you just want to support us some simple way, you can get a coffee mug, t-shirt, hoodie, things of that nature in the merch section on the website. Everything falls under the market on our website because that's where you want to purchase things. So I don't really have a title for this particular image, but I thought this guy was super, super, super cool, and I wanted to do something with him. Um, so we're going to work on him a little bit today, getting him prepped and ready to become part of the Fallen Angel. And where we're going to start, we are in guided. I do not have him in CMYK right now because I'm just doing early stuff, and I will put him in CMYK in order to do the merge with the other image, but we're going to remove a couple of things. I'm actually going to crop just him, but there's a couple things I see that I need to take out um, that will be too close to the crop. So I'm in auto manual removal. I did it too fast again. In case you haven't seen these before, we are in guided. We are under edit tab, and I'm going to auto manual removal, and I'm going to go to manual. I prefer to do manual. And I'm going to zoom up here a little bit, maybe a little bit more than that. And we're going to start taking out some of the stuff because I want like these hairs and things that he's got coming off him, or plants, or whatever it is that you want to call them. So we're going to get rid of our birdie here that uh, is kind of intertwined, and hopefully it's not going to take anything but the bird away. Otherwise, we may have to do some other things over here. Let's see what that does. Pretty good. It didn't really affect his hairiness, I guess you would say. Kind of want to clean this up a little bit right here. Take this out. And you know what? Just for good measure, I'm going to drop these puppies out of here. Um, just because this crop is going to be kind of a funky custom crop, so I just don't want anything there that's going to pop out in the crop, and I'll be like, oh shit, I should have taken that out. So we're just going to quickly go over this stuff. Um, kind of don't like this here. Let's see if we can pop most of that stuff out, clean it up just a little bit right there. Sometimes when you're zoomed up, it's a little bit harder to tell exactly what, I don't know what these little blips are, but I need to get rid of those just because I don't want them affecting the overall photo once we do the crop. Do a little bit of stuff here. Matter of fact, I'm going to take that branch out. Just get rid of that stuff. And as you can see, I'm kind of moving quickly, trying to keep this video moving. I know that your guys' time is very valuable, and I like to think of myself, even though I'm trying to use this as a teaching. And also, if you really like my images, to be able to, that tree's got to go. Um, be able to see behind the scenes and see how your image that you purchase is actually created. I'll go up a little bit bigger on my, just use the scroll button on my mouse to make that bigger. So this will go a little bit quicker than if I was smaller. You want to make sure you fill in all of the areas. You don't want to leave anything uh, dotted out there. Yeah, it's pretty good. You might have to take out some of these flowers to make them a little bit more realistic. Kind of like that. See what we get there. I don't know how much that stuff's actually going to be once I crop it and put it in the other photo. I may actually crop it additionally later on. But I'm kind of getting up into the nitty gritty here. Let's, whatever that is, just get it out of the way. I'm not going to nitpick too much about these twigs and branches coming off of them because I can deal with those at a later date if I need to. Just wanted to get some clearer stuff going on around this front area where I'm going to end up cropping. So I'm actually going to take a swipe like this just to give myself a nice clear crop area around him. And that took out quite a bit, but that's okay because if I can actually cut him out better, and even after I do the crop, I'm going to be doing some erasing of around him in order to bring him forward into the other picture. So I think I'm happy with that for right now. If I need to fine tune it a little bit later, I can fine tune it a little bit later. I'm not really worried about moving any objects or clearing up any blurriness, so I'm going to go right into crop. And I'm going to go to custom. And even though it has all these nice little presets in here, I'm going to see what I can do in here. I may have to jump out into GIMP um, because I think GIMP has a freeform crop, although I really honestly don't use GIMP very often for much of anything other than scaling images. I don't think I need all of that. I think I pretty much just need him. He's going to be over to one side. Whoops, I don't know what I just did there. He's going to be over to one side of the image. So I just kind of want to get his whole, whoops, I want those branches. So we're going to leave that out a little bit further. We're going to leave it like that. So he's going to be decent size. We may end up squishing him down a little bit more once we're in the actual setup of doing that. But I think that's probably what we need to work with. And like I said, we can erase parts of this once we're in layers in the design side. But I just wanted to get him. I want to save this as a separate photo. And I'm just going to name it crop so that we end up, when we want to pull this into the other, in with the other picture, we want to be able to just grab this. We don't want to have to go through the process of recropping it. I'm not going to go through any of the enhancements, any of that kind of stuff. What I am going to do, since we have, this video is not super long yet, I'm going to go ahead and close that. And I'm going to reopen in design. You don't have to click there. You can click up here. We were in guided before. We can go to design. And what I'm going to do is open 601 where we at step 3. I did convert that to CMYK. Should do that real quick a second with the other one too, just so we're looking at the same thing. So bear with me a second while I do that. Where are you? 540 crop. Put that into CMYK. Like I said, this stuff works really kind of quickly. I'm in the right file. Done with that. So now I have this. I'm going to duplicate this because we are going to be colorizing this above the angel and below the angel as a point of separation. So in the next video, I am going to be cutting this apart. Um, I may pre-do some of it around the wings and such just so that it's done. It takes a little less time on the video. But I'm going to duplicate that layer so that I now have two layers of that. And then I'm going to introduce under layer new photo layer from folder. And I am going to bring in our 540 crop CMK file, and I'm going to squish him right down, make it super simple. We'll get an idea of where he's going to sit up here against these rocks, I think. Maybe not all the way to the corner. We'll kind of play around with that a little bit. Um, and I'm going to play around with erasing around him and making him just him, which will give me a better idea of where he's going to fit in this picture. But I can already see, number one, that I need to move him in between over here in our stack. We're going to move him in between. So now he's gone unless I click on the uppermost layer and turn the opacity down. So I can see him, I cannot see him, but this is where we're going to pick up on the next video. I'm going to do some editing, erasing on him. I'm going to do some erasing on the upper layer so that we can see in between. I may have to introduce a solid color layer in order to do the erasing as good as I possibly can. I don't think I need to on him because I'll be up against another image that at this point in time is obviously a different color. So I'm going to cut this one off for now. We'll jump back in, we'll erase around him, we'll erase around the angel, and that'll be the next one. And then we can start working on color in this and decide on his size, because I can continue to change his size as needed throughout the course of this process. So that I get it really looking the way that I want it to look, because I want him to kind of be in the mountains on the one side. I may even tilt him a little bit, but we'll cover that stuff on the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. Just like I said, if you got some value from this, give me a little thumbs up down there with a like. Subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss anything in this series. And, obviously go back and look at the other series. Find our artwork. Pretty soon it'll be on Etsy. I'm not sure exactly when. I'm going through the process of dealing with all that stuff right now and making sure that the stuff that I'm going to put over there, all the tags are in and all the descriptions are there and all the photos are there and all that kind of stuff. But on Etsy will be strictly posters, premium prints, and puzzles. I'm not going to overwhelm Etsy with anything besides that. That's all print on demand stuff from my fantastic print on demand company. And we are going to pick this up in the next video, guys. And I'm not saving this because I'm actually going to continue working on this. So remember to let the chaos out, and we'll see you guys on the next one.